kan pucham de chim ding are ri jang la ma bang za box ko la he kan pucham cho zela da na chim ding ha ko ho ko na chim mang bang za ko la kan pucham pucham cho rau pui gấu hay cũng thế biachimnak cái này đây tu hinan dam chamo tikesla nan dam chamo tikesla tu hi ko tlaina khan to choma le usla tu kam pucham kha aban lu choma le sko he phangni le kumkol kuma jo aro pui bak tikesla nang te aro pui ni tibe lo dak President asan ro pibik ko ngai President atwa mi chuma za ro pibik bak ka ti mi sala zaidan nan ti che ha the bi ha kampu cho với có tay nào tôi chưa mà được này đi ra lo hả kampu trăm mùi năm mua hen đi Republican Party cha chân anuame đi party cha chân zot nak rung roll box về cái chỗ zot nak rung roll này atlak cái cái chỗ karo har box ko tu hi ral boy pon ha he ton na khan nei na lai ke tu za lei di party pon ha phong ning la du lo na lang ta nang toi po song kam zo pon ha lai chang USA tis ko sang cho Taylor crying cho karo har ba kasi mang bang za box la ka antu da kai jang ha ka house le by the speaker darling kalau darling chia chứ war chia suka atau putra darling lang tak kau sakit jadi aku ni jauh lagi dan jo kan putra jo dress to congress biachimnak sini ama cabinet pun ha tapi di parti de jong be di parti saja hang ai mikir pakal ajang itu Alam si lai paku sung lo ngai phu pa ka. Lai paku sung lo ngai.
Thank you.
Ai long, du sa ka. Ai long. Tu he. Ke an lo si tuk chang ma ke. Nama ka na lo ko na che. Nama po ka lo na la.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States,
JD Vance le atua Speaker Johnson le adaling kha pakan na ka take them namun tum sa ko kha adaling jado pa ke zo wa ang ki ruk le dilo po ke smati ke ka puchao adaling ji zo mano ang hong zong a zai men mo lo ana ko zong zai men mo lo
members of the United States Congress, thank you very much.
Congress member di
And to my
di la chunga
fellow citizens, America back.
atua America citizen si mi he kier than asi chang ko di party chen chu ko di party zo am bang du pak lo ka ta le ke Republican Party zo kha ba pai lai pa ku dung lo yo ba pai a chi ke le ska a chi ke le kha a thu mi por ke
6 weeks ago,
zarok
I
song ka
stood
choi mi
beneath
chunga
the dome of this Capitol and
capital la kan mi
proclaimed
chunga kan
the
de
dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
atu he golden age tv lam thom pia kan ka le ti chung a chung 4 year ka ding a tu ni som li na ni som thum na som li ni thum na kan tu hi kan ka kan han chu ma asi hai le a kum li kum riat ka ding lam thom pia tu hi just
I
beginning
return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before.
je sarama chunma pi kan nei mi angan tak mi mun chunga atu hi
The
ke ma
American
to
dream
za
is
re tun na atu hi
unstoppable, and
choboi
our
chunga
country
thare
is
ka
on
hong
the
ke thang
verge
se
of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it.
atu he der thom nak le balai chu pi der
The
thom nak le chambao nak chunga kan
election
um tia la
of
kan thong
November
la
5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
atu han swing stay ya 312 kan vote ke hin ni hin tai na ka chau swing stay ga ke di la ka la ni electoral college of
We won
kan
the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
popular vote as a big county as a adila kan tai na kan chau ka se mai he dulo na la tel na ko kan si ta man thok sang ye ta man thok sang di party ni dulo na kan lang tar Republican Party ni sa payam back mo na
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
mai chon song
Now, for
le
the first
speaker
time
an dia
in
chang
modern
ke
history, more Americans believe that our country is
mai
headed
chon
in the
song
right
ke
direction
amai tha
than
dia
the
che chang
wrong
ke bia
direction.
chin di
In
la chi do
fact,
ti phan
it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
Jia sara ma hen jen tuan khobik a chak bik a thong bik a tu hi a ban kal bik se
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
a du lo na lang tar chang we se
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Atu chimngai lo mi le du lo na lao ter mi om sia chen apung te ji asalai fiscal. Di party po na du lo na kan lao ter lai tu le ma he atu ahhin until lai zoom
Mr.
se.
Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir.
Two ante du
Take
lo.
your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
chamber in zoom chung in chel jang o because atu ke an tlai lai e zoom chung in chua jang lai. This was the party po
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House.
Zung na kai lai.
Thank you.
Zung na
Over
kai
the
lai.
past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400
Sequence executive order kan to mi chunga kan atu hi kam
to
kan.
restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
Jesaram ni ka thimi ka se tu cha chan tu Jesaram ma safety restore safety hi pakhat da nga atu hi Jesaram chu government che tham mi himbom da nga atu hi government che bi sa.
In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Gestuambia chunga Mexico rambi na rami po na atlombik kan table lo bituambia kan tiel. Because
they heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way.
Kabia
In
ante
comparison,
andat
under
lo
Joe
kasi.
Biden, the worst president in American history, there
Joe
were
Biden,
hundreds
Joe
of
Biden, Joe
thousands of
Chebika,
illegal
asi.
crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire
Di party
nations,
chen hot link
or
kan
announce
chak
the
si
answers to
Jadi
the greatest economy
jadi
in
bes ni
history,
aku dong so
or the stoppage of crime to the
atu
lowest
he
levels
Zue
ever
saram
recorded.
chung phoning lo
And
alu bi
these
chung
people
so lang
sitting
tu mi
right
so
here
really simple ka tam
will
bi
not
alu
clap,
ka
will not stand,
ma
and
pol
certainly
ke
will not cheer
dulo na la
for
tar mi
these
si angki
astronomical
ke
achievements. They
pink
won't do it,
color
no
ke
matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
Catholic am dia ke Republican Party Catholic am chu ke Democratic Party pink ko ke nyong lai
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Ya kai ma tu za nam si pu so si ke zu ding ro ai tu ke ya na lom lom America krai kan ka ti hai kan di la kan America ka sin mun ke te kan tak ti kan tu ti hai ya na lom lom ti ke se na si pu si ka ping a to ka
Is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid. I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization.
party foi tu ka se atua hen Green New Deal ti mi kha ma kha ka fok mi ka si
UN Human Rights Council.
Atu WHO in ka dung do da kha
We
asi
ended all of
WHO
Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
atua saving auto worker ti mi kha electric vehicle ka se lai atu engine gas or OS pan
To
ka kan fok di la
unshackle
ti mi kha ka save
our
mi ka si ti
economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term.
di party chang ko
And in
ben
that
ko bak lo
first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
atua châu gia den tuan tu ge ti kha order ka chwa zunga ban da te thut in pum pa ka ne tu man do slawa chial di thon di da
We
atua
ended
ko di dan du
weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good.
so kam pu thom so da an tu châu gia rian tuan tu ka siam chilan han ko ka chin ka se fair ti ke ke dulo na na ta
Stopped
ka
all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
ato free speech ka di party nen kami ma po ka atharing ka sa than ka che than di ke se
And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
alwan chimin no anini ka English marang cha ka official language ka chemi ka se Colombia umala ne
I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
min thar ka pek mi cho call of Mexico ka call of America ka pek ko se
And likewise, I renamed, for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military.
DI ที่ค่ะมาค่ะคำสิ
And
อามือสาวกิโซมัน
country will be woke no longer.
ดีชิมพอพอโจสาวองค์ก่อน
We
แล้ว
believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important.
ตัวไทยด้านน้ำเราเห็นนู่นละป่าไทยด้านน้ำเราเห็นดับชาซิบวยสงะตัวผลิตสงเซมันตัวเมียพวกไทยด้านน้ำเราเห็นเซพวกค่ะอามาละเทียมนี่จะกันแบบขั้น
And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
像人啊，金融米条人安多米中啊，给嘛就我到个处米就努了把这两个是来，努了把哦，今天他们来了，马卡西姆。
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
努练掉这那个把一点可乐卡给嘛你看米就是这个。
3 years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
ที่มีจุดป้าค่ะป้าวอลเลย์บอลแบงค์นะค่ะอันนี้เองป้าสิติกาค่ะแกตุกมีฝักตุกเองอันนู้นเลยเอามีค่ะเข็นให้มาปูค่ะตุฮีเรื่องที่ไรมาปูค่ะลุงที่เราเลี้ยงคำพูดเสียมีนู้นเข็นให้มาค่ะป้าจนท่าทางปิ่นตุกนู้วอลเลย์บอลเลยป้าวอลเลย์บอลตุกมีจ้าดังตุกมาลองค่ะมาเข็นมีนู้ค่ะเสีย
If you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
Nancy Pelosi จ้าหนุ่มที่เราเห็น
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working
มาเบียก็
families.
ง่ายเดียวก็ละมั้ง
As you know,
อ่ะ
we
ป้อนตะเตียลองแค่
inherited
อ่ะ
from
ป้อน
the
ตะเตียลอง
last
ก็เลยละป้อนตะเตีย
administration
ลองก็เจ้า
an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
tu thil mana kai mi ma chi inflation ko na ma kha atu hi kan nam choma leu siti kha achim ji ko
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
You can either have a power line to a current and to a line. You can pay a gas
never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency.
As
you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
Drill, baby, drill. Am po kan so na lai ti ko dang ka. Di party po na am po kan so na lai ti di party po jo. Pakan chok ti ko lai so te man.
Gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
Japan le South America ni USA ma tilta bi company en thong lai chu chong la chu case le oil ko fa te la ja.
To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
American to taxpayer dollar ka kan di lai. Taxpayer ni kom ti ala chu.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, GOG. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
Elon Musk, tu ka, those ka, those are tu hi, adiar bi chang lai.
Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
It gallery. Tu hi Elon Musk, tu ta ni rian tu mi hi, ma hi those are pakada, Peter ka bi chang lai.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is.
How many tailo? 45 million in Burma bomb nak antwa.
LGBTQI+. In the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender.
So 60 million to
This is
Nula pa
real.
kenon naka bom mi kasi.
$32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City.
50 million hotel room in New York City and Hamika.
He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education, the most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
$100 billion over tarchuah and regular life. Elon이 악한 초장이었어. They took that team.
And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old.
109.
3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129.
3.7 billion
3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does. And it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
Healthier, Bobby. Babi, matok jenin ko diga jen si anun ko sabaki at di kasi. Babi jo tua Robert F. Kennedy Jr. kasi.
Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229. One person between the age of 240 and 249. And one person is listed at 360 years of age.
360.
More than 100 years older than our country. But we're going to find out where that money's going.
Tu za
And
jam
it's
mo
not gonna
pop
be
ko na
pretty.
ya.
By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
Ma biel te he American family cha a rian kan tuan lai. Kamu biel te li le thong thoi eng an tuan biel te ma he fine up kan zau halai. Kamu chon halai kan pin dia lo.
And today interest rates took a beautiful drop, big beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
Atu federal budget atu jeng tu lai interest rate atu he atla. Tu interest rate la hi 6.0 thong se. 6.4 ko se ma ka chim lo ni chu. Interest rate kan check on lai.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country.
Call
They
visa
will have
cut
to pay
60.
tax from where they came.
5 million in kan
The
zo
money
lai
that
e.
they've made, you wouldn't want to do
Ma
that, but
ka
they have to
kring kat
pay
na ka
tax,
sang dio
create
US
jobs.
citizency na ka
They'll
sila.
also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
Katawol le kama tu me ma sok folk rop mili chimans e. Honing lo in. How long e kau e alu termin ha. Joe Biden kut tang ma sok pro city.
Have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk-takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
Yen tuan zoom lo in. Au mi pon ha. Mui lang lo ne tuan pon ka ma ka. Kam pon ha lai. Tu kon wa zue sa mi. Big net kerte in. Yen tuan mi.
Any
Ya
federal
democracy
bureaucrat
tak
who
kan ram
resists
akan kan
this
topi
change
lai.
will be removed from office immediately.
Aran na kan.
Because
Chau
we
sa
are
zoom ke
draining
tuan
the
akan choi ha lai.
swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
Vi party chỉ tuan jo. Anh lấy lo bak okay. Amai che ko lo hon chơi ko chang.
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there, they're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling
Republican
you
ka party ka tinhalo ka chawole ka ma thun pol na
But I
he
know this group is
social
gonna be
security
voting for
khat
the
dan du
tax.
se chen ma ka vote pe u tik se
Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
tar cha social security akan tan tialo no tip tax on tip turn overtime akan tialo.
And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
Atu he GS ram e answer mi moto po ka ma ka achilise taxi driver
And
pon
by the way,
ha
we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the
Indiana
world.
ka Honda ka India lai company karmi Indiana company Honda ka karmi India lai ka.
And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens.
South Korea,
This is
India,
happening by
Daluk,
friend and foe.
GS Ramatil Sermi Long ka tax katlom ti kalak lai tariff kalak lai lo adang lak mi popo ram popo ka tariff kalak di lai GS Raman kot popo ka
Want to be accused of April Fool's Day? That's not just one day was cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that too. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars, create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We've been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer.
Much
has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer.
Mexico le Canada la min sitlo pun tam pian lu pi ma ikam na tin chapai sa kan piak na zai man to mi lo cho am hu tia lo
$1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of Thawngpang, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
Chip Vietnam made at 70%. Atua Chimipoka, Vietnam investment to me 1.5 trillion.
And we're not giving them any money.
Investment
horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the chip act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt.
Answer me till they can do to US stars like Cartel amazing physical. They took the Trump and Zoom, they took the Trump can there come.
Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer.
Farmer American farmer
will be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies, they're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had
April
that
2nd
before when I made the
takan
deal with
hotline.
China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. All going to happen.
Farmer estimate to a low Korean tuan kan ramdang Arabi pun haja an tur thom tok. Zesram ekan chom itu atami atiang ti bilang
25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard. Has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raised 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provided a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
Alabama 20%. Farmer steel like steel.
Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us, very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States.
Jeff, na chunga lomnak kan pikan nei. Yaki ka achim tu ko nuwa. First Lady adaling ka abon forta ko ka. Chami cho adaling jado ba bagbiyo. This president nupi la ka jado big saka.
Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With his help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much.
Ito siyang lai chim pun ha le. Ama 20 ha adaling 20 pun ha kama po ka.
And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country. but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
Million pa ko la pakat phoning lawan lut tu chunga chang visual tam PK member pu nalam pi tinong en anum manapol tu atu he kiera a ti phasi atu hi control hala.
And I want to thank Tom Homan.
Tom Homan ke chunga kalom.
Thank you and Paul of Border Patrol.
Border Patrol
thank
elu
you.
tai
What
bi
a
ka
job
timi se.
they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE.
Border Patrol le tenan tu mi
Law
chunga kan
enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement.
na zo ken ila nan tu mi rian kan ni bi lai take care for all of.
Last year,
Ma he Border Patrol e lu tai bi ka
a
timi ko
brilliant
ha.
22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley,
Relkin
the
rally ka
best in
an
her
thana ko
class,
khachim.
admired by everybody, went
Nursing
out for a
sala
jog on the campus of the University of Georgia.
University
That
of Georgia
morning,
kai
Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered.
Relkin
Laken
rally
was
ka
stolen
an tai
from
I
us
phone
by a
lo pa ni
savage
aswal pi
illegal
aswal pi
alien.
ko no thabe.
Gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening, Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
Ma ke anu le a farmi te ma na ye kal tak ni ha ti kan se. An ma ye a farmi le a fanu ti kha. Holding lo pa de atlai e aswal pi ko no thabe. Breaking rally ti ni ti kha ma ko ka kam pu tham ni a chimin se.
Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act.
Maro aka tu safety power strong and kilben na him la bom te ka chua ni kha se. Breaking rally ka philo na din cha jang te ka tu.
It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
Maka ama breaking rally philo na din cha azung zalin til kan tua lungphun kan tua ka ti lai chu. Ngai hol chu lungphun philo na maka til pakhan tua pia.
Thank you very much.
Na chunga ka lom.
Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
Pongni lo alut mi chunga kaiba official akuma atlombik atuban tukan Colombia tial umbilai. Ni party cho zaiti kamanan kudan biang balo. Ano nuam lau?
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation, we must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Ni party ni ken pong tham piran le ka miso poluko na din ka ta ka antua. Andu asina new president ke ba tunga chen zeng ka antua ka ki de ko.
Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America.
Jerusalem luat na timika ma ka keima chunga chin omlai chichwa chin atu Jerusalem thong le khati fati puhan fodi
is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered.
makai ka putam ni chimi jo phoning low in atwa Springfield le Colorado le adang pola an chua chen khwa khan fo di man ha pul kha kan lak na lai kan ko thadin ha lai ti kha.
The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Oh, makamin tharam pek ni apan ni ke an tha mia kan ma ka order atu chom ke se executive order chom ka ama philo na ni cha kan atu phung lo ni tam pin than ha chu Jerusalem e nu pol mo tam ta kan than ha chen churong a kan cham ni philo na din cha ka thil ka khat ka atu pek lamang ha.
Thank you very much. All three savages charged with John and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations.
Misol kemen mo pun hakakai e ko pinha ken Jerusalem me kemen martin ko he bolai chunga kemen bara asol bikti kase madha po ka antai din ha kase.
They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy.
Roberto Ortiz atimi ba kase. Ice pol ne tu he phoni lo ka chobai din ne alu tarin ha po ka antai na lai an tuat khalai chu chunga jarian akhin ni po ha kan se ice ti mi he atu kan a chen tak mi phoni lo alu du ko so na ton ko tlai tu kan se ma tha pu le rian akhin ni po ha.
In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande, near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much.
game member for hands to win more. Man so to win the tarchuah Jerusalem border patrol hakan ka ton ha ma e na ka na e akirin na kong ka si Jerusalem puni ro alu tiga mai thal tam pin ke so to takan speech.
And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
Atua cartel ti mi miswal puka. Atu hedi la ken hima border patrol ka lak ta ma ka ama kan ha ko chang ha. Hai anda che chma ka lai bak chwat kwat ni.
Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever.
Atu ahhin Cartel 29
But we
member
need Mexico and
Canada
to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker.
Mr.
Leader, thank you. Thank you very much.
My Johnson JD West ni pakat an chua le di party jo dulo nakal nak tera ti mi jo andi ko chak la ba ha Republican Party jo ma khan chok ko chak chua Republican Party ko bang le di party jo bang ko ti la
We must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns.
See in the town where the law and order control lai a ha men chol ko lai lo kan tlai na lai kan ko chan ni lai ti
In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bond. Good luck. Cash. Thank you.
Cash Patel ti mi FBI director si. May Cash Patel. Good luck ti. Pam Bondi. Ma jo atuta na AG. Anthony General Kim na kasi.
Very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job.
Atong tak mi
Very
si.
proud of them.
Nan thai tha la ma.
We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job. We're gonna make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and I will never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
Di party John go them bank hoti lo. So kap ucha me chapol le kam tu ko ke.
1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with
Makia
his
fanu
murder
si
had 21
Tila
prior
ken somtum
arrests,
kumkat
and they were rough
Border
arrests.
Patrol tilang
He
kami
was a
pa
real
fanu.
bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I fanu ko tumi ko sorry siya pi siya. Pi ne fa pakat ya nei ma ha. Border Patrol tu na ka maka angka ai team ko siya. A team na ko ko kai ito chimi. Di party jo tabako jang hai. Di party jo se ta party ki ti ko
Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
Salam Cartel atoi balik le sizwar impon ha kutunga attack mi tel to mi tu tidan ka pya that penalty
I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Oh, mati ke police officer in kuke arami kasi. Apa ka
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Brain cancer atwak cancer zot na ronga athini kasi. Maka atua hen ke atwak anhai mi kasi.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Secret Service atua rian na kasi. Atua kan Secret Service atu ke agent rian thar kam putam ni apiak ni kasi. DJ lo kumtam ting lawas mo.
Thank you, DJ.
Makale apa kan mo.
DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Arian ka kimi jo hak che kumting lo kensan tam tok eledin chamau naka sila ai cho mi ai din so ronga ma ka Arian ka pyak ni si jesaram chu healthy in kan ka khona ding cha ama hi rian thar ka pyak ni si ti.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. Happily, they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong, 1 in 36, think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you.
Atuang hak siya kumting lo in 1 in 10,000. Ma ka mitam pi ka an tilung tuol le an thok andam lo na kung sang andam lo na chopi an aidin rong asi.
My administration is
Ma
also
ka zai da
working
zai
to
rong ada
protect
siti
our
ka do
children
tan nang
from
tu zai si dan
toxic
cho mi.
ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January, Little John and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronoun. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology.
Ma ka kumting lo mi am fa te ka sia ngai kai na ka an thok an ton hai a fanu ko fa pa an ken fa pa ka fanu an ken ma mi nu kha fa kha ma ro ka cham ni tu security order bin thot mi la alang tar ko so tu cha chen siang ni kumting lo ko na ke an du po atwan ka le an thok an ton ha za le ya pa an loi ko
permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie.
Ma ka wrong body di mi atu chimi ka atu ahhin nu ka siang ka I zan le loi ti ka pa a chwa pa si ka nu a chwa ma kha nga lo
God made you.
ka God made you ti ka se pa tien ni answer ni te kha asi ok asi nang ma ni na ken ok nga lo ma ka chap ni chim le ma ni se pa tien kun sung lem kan si God
Because
made
we're
you.
getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so
Raka
much
bisa
better for it,
society
don't we? Don't we feel
karup
better?
chung ka malai mi chung a community kan tilai chung mun tok chung zong a ken atu a hen rian tuan tu a chen phoning lo tu mi news mi pa tu mi nu ma pol ka kan chau thang ti halo
For our country, and Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations.
Secretary of Defense atu hi Pete has set kasi.
1
Ka pucham ke zau cha pakhat nan aka bak lo chu zau kho acha moi chung ke zau cha ka bak lo ma bial te chimi ke zau
that in January the U.S. Army had its single best recruitment in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference.
Tuara ka pon ha upat nang lai chonglom na achim ni ke sa dan tuan bia chunga balom me chak bi ka thong
And
bi
you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job.
Peter has said to on ka tu hi Vietnam is great again a thong bit ma kan sa than hai
We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows
Jason
the
Hartley
weight
tu
of
na
that call
atel
of
pi
duty.
ni.
Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
Ma ka tua US Academy apek ni sa US Ratap the Academy kan pucham ni GPA 4.6 yang ngal pa ha.
And Jason, that's a very big
Jason,
deal
sir.
getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Application ka accept ka ka tu ka chang ka chau lang sam sa
Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
atu Iron Dome ka US Saram ka salai US Saram kilben nang din cha US Saram kilben nang din cha ka salai
Wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there. Not even.
Rather reckon
Now we
ni
have the
sa tan sa
technology.
pi tu arak du sna tu ko technology arak
Other
chamak
places
sa
they have it. Israel has it. Other
Israel ni nei tu he
places have it, and the United States should have it too, right, Tim? Right?
United States ni kan nei bi lai
But it's a very, very.
Iron Dome
important
ka
mission.
system ka
Very
Israel
dangerous
pakat long
war.
ni nei
We should have it. We want to be.
David
protected,
Sling
and
team
we
ila
want to
Iron Dome
protect
chu
our
US long ni
citizens
nei
like
tu
never
aram ni
before.
nang nei chu US salai
To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding.
atu ara ka bia na kun la thiel tu na building thar ka ma pu da le
And for that
program thar ka
purpose,
sar
I'm
ka
announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Panama Canal chu kama ni kan lap chan lai cha chu Panama Canal chu US ta se
Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals.
Marco Rubio.
The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria, they died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring into modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama.
Panama ni tu a China apek. Atu ju US ni kan lak chan la. Tu hi Panama Canal e ram dang e bon chi.
And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco.
Marco Rubio.
Now,
we know who to blame if anything goes wrong.
Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job.
Think
of it, he got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes.
Marco Rubio vote thak le 99 ni vote thak 100.
I'm very concerned about it.
Sanay 100 ni akan anti 99 mak niyan thak mi pa si.
He's a great gentleman. He's respected by
He
everybody.
great general.
We appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you.
Na tuam hi rian cha to ke upat ok ta.
He's doing a great job. Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland.
Greenland.
We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security.
International world security cha atua kam han lai. Chu cha so world comes that is in world come
We will keep you safe. We will make you rich and together. We will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before.
Asiko bi chung tu hi hai en lai en tu kan kilben lai kan zau khen lai.
Very, very important for
mi
military security.
ra kap
America is
cha
once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism.
Islamic terrorists for hazala adang cha
killed
mi
13
kilben nak ta
American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most interesting moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
Greenland umi pon sa chu chu US ni hin ha kan lak lai US ni tuam bo kan lak chang lai ti ka chi ni party chu oh my goodness oh my control tang he zau he chai chai na an to fi ba ka chai chai na la
arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day.
Afghanistan ya nu do mi chunga manung play thuman thi adang hiam tuan mi kong kha
Putin saw what happened.
Putin ne mu is zai da chang tia
this is my chance. That's how bad it was.
This is my chance ke ma ka chan thabi ka si tia ti Ukraine he atok mi chu si.
I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call every one of them called, and
Andi la kaya
everybody
Afghanistan
was
timin
on the
hap
line,
ka
and
wa anu
they
lem
did
pa
nothing
chon
but
din ha.
cry with happiness. They were very happy, as
Ana lom
happy as
tuk
you can
kum
be
chan
under
tiat
those
chi.
circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle
Arwang
East, we're
wan
bringing
than.
back our hostages from Gaza. In my first
Kuja
term, we
hostage
achieved
Gaza
one
an
of
to
the
rin ha.
most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords.
Abraham Accord atu a peace na akan tu hi kan kai pi. Le Israel e has che an tu ni ha chung akan tu hi kan kai pi ka si.
And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything.
Atu a Ukraine Russia ko ai ituk do na am kap ki kala ka dei na rem dang umlo na ka thuk an kap thuma chu chunga chen 100 billion ka US ni kam bom ha.
You want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. $2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that.
2,000
Russian young
people
people, the Ukrainian young people. They're not
every
Americans.
week. Yeah, ma kasi metab.
Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us. And they don't. But we're getting along very well with them. Lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Ukraine tu nai te khan chang ko de kimi chu Ukraine tuken dei nak le rem nak sar adu mi gan lo US ni hit ko na kan diar kam har na kan tor mi chunga tha jang na kan pek cha Donald Trump nang ma kutang a hen tu hi dei nak le rem nak sel ding in chboy chunga manrat I sa agreement sai ka tu kan du chang tia ang ka kwat ti kase.
It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
Campaign ko tuloy baka nakato mi anu kumpula kum sri asi minuni ka fa pa he amui ka bu thang ka du tia ati Thawngpang yan an tlai mi pa kha Russia e om kha ma ka campaign ka tuloy baka na kanai mi chu namu than lai ka ti tu tlom pa chu tu hi nekule na sri president ka si na kan Russia ni an tlai mi thong kum he li thak ding pa chu atui ka choi tu za nei ma ka he kon anu he an hu than ko hi se chu campaign ko le promise kara pe mi ka se.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. You heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally.
July 13th for rally Pennsylvania.
And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Achimicho state to Kailhan Agatar Munikan Agachimi Ka Afapa Mukan the Koda Dinta, say Piaka Pillow Kati. Tutom Palajan state to Kai Metal in Anka. Metal Oju, Karuhar in Atang E. Kanako Akan, Lima Pukat Lukhad in Arai. Tukonu Kore ke Thazang Kapitu Ka Atua Aken E Fakta Kenja Ati Anak Apek Tukonu Manong Patitul Kiaman Tuare Tujo Siboy ni Anzao Kendi Kanakasi Tujo Tuzana Hen Makaya Anupila Falaka
and he's cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
Maka akan may talent ka May talent ka Corey Booker ka anin apek. Ama man tuk manung ka mitampi anong like because of now. Chuchuga chen kay ma ka kanin nak akazo tu mikha pathen ase. God save for me my life. ประเทศนี้กันหนักก็
Thank you
ว่า
very much.
จะจู่
From the
อารมณ์ไป
patriots
จู่
of Lexington and
เวียสราม
Concord
กิลเวนหนักเลย
to
เวีย
the
สรามเอง
heroes
ข้าม
of
หลักมีจ่า
Gettysburg
สิ
and
ที่สุด
Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon. Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age, workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities, these warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty, and it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
ชามนี้ที่มีจู่เวียสรามฮีโดดดังเล่มหนักเอ็นเวียสรามกันเซลฮาไลลำเลสุเวติกันเล่มฮาไลเซลชาอันตุฮีเวียสรามฮีอัจฉริอัจฉริรามกันเซลฮาไลจู่เวียสรามฮีอามุติบิกนี้จู่สิกัน
And
ดี
through
ลัก
it
กัน
all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And
ก็
we
อุ
are
ทำ
going
วอ
to
ร์อุมนับ
renew
ประคัตจู่เจ้า
unlimited
โล
promise
ซิ
of
ม
the
ลับประคัต
American
เล่
dream.
มินิสอม
Every
ลีชิม
single
จังเล่
day we will stand
ที่
up
ว่าขจงอดิ่ง
and
เรา
we will
จงมานุ
fight,
จับ
fight,
ประคั
fight
จง
for
อา
the
ขาวเรา
country our
มา
citizens
เบียร์ตีอิน
believe
อัด
in
ชก
and
ประ
for
คั
the
ตเฉดี
country our people deserve. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
นั้นหูเปิลเรามี Golden Age อาตุฮีบิกันจะทำกันทกตาพี่น้องเสียอุจจาระกุมปีกุมนี้ช่วงประเทศในการบ่มไล่กันนุ่มปีไล่ลำกันฝอยไล่กันการหาไล่สิค่ะ 那是不是就说安南族上去，你把这就说安南个上，啊，Republican Party 就安这边边，你把这就看说这个上，老大帮是就，哎，咱不参在做กัน的比较情况，安安ดำเราเจ้าเก้าเราบักเตียนก็比较情况上。现在第八届 President Joe Biden 是 OK， 这老来啊，这来大家多来嘛，可是个，他不参就可以啊，中来嘛，看，国来拿啊多上来，第八届就看出拿阿龙个上去。然后咯 ，Republican Party 就讲不参国来靠卡安的南就，嘛看。Atu ira ka lutai por ka akut tatai na sele di party chu cho zok long kan dam zai rai rong ti chen an sol na phun ni chang ha chmu lo ta ba ka sko chang ha tu za ni arang ai tu la rak zo tu nan di la chunga lom na tam pi ka nei a lai pa ku jung atu live ko tha mi a hol le kha aka har deuจะลองสโลอาเบียดินตันเรามีฮอลเลตค่ะอาหารไงไม่ใช่จะจ่าจนก็เจอแล้วก็เทคโคเดียวนักตีแล้วอาตัวฟินนักตีนฮอลกะเล่มีก็ใช่อามาชิมิกาอัตราเด็กเขาเจอแล้วจนฮอลเลตที่มีดินตันมากะเล่ดินตันเล่ที่ก็จนก็อันนั้นไม่ดิ้งสก็นั้นอาเบียชิมิละกันที่ข้อตกตีข้าสก็กันที่ข้อตกตีอะไรไงตุนดีละสุงะล้อมนักชิมจกเราก็ไหนมั้งมาคำหายเลยจงอ่ะ他们读的底下多课跟着弄上来。
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. 咁唔通跟老個陣嘅，咁唔通跟老個陣。呢把之做，嗱時間細得阿不把，嗱時間嗰陣啊，你同阿不大個啲，羅素咧，你羅素咧，阿當不你同阿不到乜卡，這咯。